In today's video, I'm going to be doing a redraft of the 2016 NBA draft. If you guys are an OG to my channel, you know that when I started my channel about 8 months ago, I basically started off with this big redraft series. I redrafted every draft from 2010 up until 2015, and it got to the point where some of those drafts were hard to do after that just because of how a lot of these players hadn't been in the league for that long. But following the 2021 season, I want to come back to this series and probably do 2016 up to 2018. So about 6 or 7 months and one big voice change later, I'm coming back to the redraft series. So today we got 2016. If you guys didn't watch those videos way back or you're not an OG to the channel, basically the way I do redrafts is I imagine the players are starting off their careers in 2021, so like they're in their rookie season, and knowing what they've done in their careers up to this point, and especially what they did in the recent 2021 season, I'll rank them accordingly and also factor in a little bit of team fit to the team in this modern day NBA in 2021. So let's get into it. I love doing redrafts. It's very fascinating to see how the draft has changed from how it went back then in 2016 and how it was now. So without further ado, let's get into my 2016 NBA redraft. With the first overall pick, I've got the Philadelphia 76ers selecting Jaylen Brown, and in the real draft he went 3rd overall to the Boston Celtics, and so far has definitely lived up to the hype of being a top 3 pick and always continued to prove throughout his young career so far. This last season really showing his offensive game and breaking out on that end of the floor, and I think if we did this redraft before the season, the top spot would have been really tough to pick, but now with Jaylen Brown's breakout 2021 season, I think it should definitely go to him pretty much unanimously. I mean, when we look at his defensive game too, playing great defense at times for the Boston Celtics, he can be a fantastic on-ball and off-ball defender and very versatile, pretty much guard 1 through 4 out there on the defensive end of the floor, and offensively, this recent season getting up to 25 points per game, and throughout his career being a really consistent three-point shooter, floor spacer for his career, shooting about 38% from 3 on about 4.5 attempts per game, and last season really continuing to improve this, shooting about 40% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. Overall, Jaylen Brown has improved every single season of his career in every aspect of the game, and I continue to expect this from him. With the second pick, I've got the Lakers selecting Brandon Ingram just like they did in the actual draft. And if they hadn't gone in the Anthony Davis round and stuck with Ingram, he still probably would have emerged this team and probably be playing for them right now at an all-star level like he is right now. And really ever since he's gone to the Pelicans, he did emerge and truly right now is becoming one of the better pure scorers in the NBA. Last season averaging 24 points per game on 58.5% true shooting, which is certainly above average, especially for a guy that creates his own shot, can dominate in the mid-range area at times, and is a very effective three-point shooter as well. In the recent years, we've seen Ingram develop a better passing game, better playmaking, better court vision, and overall offensively, he's probably the best player in this draft. I just think Jaylen Brown's defense separates him from Ingram a little bit. So it's close, but I've got Ingram going 2 here once again to the Lakers. With the third pick, I've got the Celtics selecting Pascal Siakam. He would fit pretty well in this team, add some versatile defense for them, and be their second option on offense alongside Jason Tatum. And Pascal was easily the biggest steal of this draft, going 27th overall. Another hidden gem here for the Raptors and Masai Ujiri. But in the redraft here, he's moving all the way up to 3rd, going to the Celtics. And he honestly could have gone 1st if it wasn't for his little bit disappointing season in 2021. He's shown that he still hasn't developed a consistent three-point shot at all, can sometimes be inconsistent and isn't very clutch at all, but still offensively a very reliable option in the post, very good when he gets that spin move going, and again, he's inconsistent at times, but when he's feeling it, he's one of the better players at scoring around the rim and in the post in the entire league. He's also adding a little bit of more of a playmaking aspect to his game, and defensively is arguably one of the best players in this draft. He can pretty much guard anyone 1 through 5 defensively, a very good on-ball defender, and mostly his defense is actually what's moving him into the top 3 here, at least in this redraft. I think he'd fit well in the Celtics and at least has to go number 3 here. With the 4th pick, I've got the Phoenix Suns selecting Domantas Sabonis, and at times he can be a pretty underrated player because people don't understand his full playmaking ability, but scoring wise, obviously a really reliable option down low in the post, pretty much a traditional big man, and for his career is averaging about 14 points per game, 20 points per game in their most recent season, and always shoots around 53% from the field, very efficient and effective down low, one of the best rebounding non-centers in the NBA, NBA, averaging 9 rebounds for his career so far and 12 last season. And also last season in 2021, Sabonis led the entire NBA in screen assists per game and also screen assist points per game. And his screening ability and his passing ability and his really just his overall playmaking as a big man would go really well alongside guys like Chris Paul and Devin Booker. So he would fit really well in this Phoenix Suns team here and is the best player with his overall playmaking and dominant scoring down low. He could have been a little bit higher, but he's not very good defensively for his position, so that's holding him back just a little bit here as well. With the 5th pick, I've got the Timberwolves selecting Jamal Murray, and he could be a pretty reliable second option for this team alongside D'Angelo Russell. Basically, Murray could play shooting guard in this team, get into a lot of pick and pop action with Karl Anthony Towns, show his playmaking ability with this team, and really add them a reliable second option that could help them get back contending. And we know that Murray throughout his career, especially when we see in that 2020 playoff run, he can take over games at times with his scoring ability, sometimes can play pretty good perimeter defense, and is overall a very good playmaker most of the time. I mean, he's not like a superstar type of player and is probably gonna always have trouble making that all-star team. He's obviously not like a certified all-star, but he's an all-star caliber player and deserves to go in the top 5 with his overall game. 6th, I've got the Pelicans selecting Fred VanVleet, and I said that Pascal Siakam was the biggest steal of this draft, but really it was Fred VanVleet, who actually technically he's not a steal of the draft because he went completely undrafted and is now moving up to 6th in the NBA redraft. And for this Pelicans team, he would fit well here with his elite perimeter defense and very good off-ball defense. Fred is one of the truly best perimeter defenders in the NBA. He can be versatile to defend in the post and led the league last year in deflections as well. A pretty good overall off-ball defender, and offensively, he can be kind of the main point guard for this team, run their offense at times, space the floor for Zion when he's controlling the ball. In his career so far, Fred VanVleet has shot about 38.5% from 3 on 5 attempts per game, and overall his shooting ability to space the floor offensively and his great defense would be great for this Pelicans team, and I really think he is the best overall player to draft here as well. With the 7th pick, the Nuggets are selecting Malcolm Brogdon, and especially because in this redraft they wouldn't have Jamal Murray, Brogdon is definitely the best option here. He's a pretty underrated overall player, and last season averaged about 21 points per game and 6 assists per game, and he can do a really good job of running teams' offenses and also pulling up for 3 when he's controlling the offense up top. Last season shooting about 39% from 3 on 7 attempts per game, and has really done this throughout his career, shooting also around 39% from 3 for his career on about 4 attempts per game. He can play on ball, be the main facilitator on the team. He can also play off ball and space the floor, and defensively he's also not a liability there either. He can play pretty good perimeter defense at times as well. So I think Brogdon's definitely the best overall player for the Nuggets to select here. Number 8, I've got the Sacramento Kings selecting Ben Simmons. Listen, Ben Simmons, obviously we know he went 1st overall in the real draft here. He's literally the only player in this draft that you can go on Basketball Reference and his career stats will be better than his 2021 stats. Of the players in the lottery, he's literally the only player like that because he's actually getting worse as his career is going on. Be sure to check out the video I made about Ben Simmons and what he needs to do to get his career back on track. But overall, Ben Simmons he needs to develop a 3-point shot, obviously, to stop making his team's offense flow badly, because especially like last year in the NBA playoffs, he was such a liability, not only shooting the 3 but also at the free throw line, that he actually made his team's offense worse, and his team's offensive rating was better when he was off the court. So this obviously needs to change, and the only reason he's still going this high in the redraft is because sometimes he can be a pretty good passer but not really a great playmaker. A lot of the time he gets credit for an assist when he actually didn't create the shot and doesn't have any gravity on the perimeter. But really the main reason he's actually even just making the lottery here and going 8th to the Kings is because of his elite defense. We got to give Ben Simmons credit for his defense, probably one of, if not the best perimeter defenders in the NBA right now, and probably overall a top 10 defender in the NBA still. So because of this, the Kings got to select him here. Number 9, we've got the Raptors selecting Caris Levert, and Caris went 20th overall in the actual draft, so he's a pretty big steal here as well, and I think he would fit well into the Raptors' defensive system. He's not a fantastic defender, but he can be switchable, which is probably the style of defense they're going to play this upcoming season. And overall, Caris Levert is pretty much breaking out in the NBA right now with his ability to score the basketball. This season for the Pacers, averaging about 20 points per game, he's definitely looking like he's going to continue to develop as a player, and also average averaged 5 assists per game last season. His sheer scoring ability makes him pretty much, in my opinion, the best overall player to select here for the Raptors, and I think he'd fit in well on their team as well. Number 10, I've got the Bucks selecting Buddy Hield. I mean, Hield overall, his overall game isn't great. He doesn't have a huge playmaking aspect to his game, isn't great defensively, but overall, scoring-wise, putting up about 16 points per game for his career so far, and he would fit well on this Bucks team too because he can shoot the three. And in the playoffs, we've seen that despite the Bucks winning the championship this season, they could definitely use some more shooting, and Buddy Hield's biggest strength obviously is his shooting ability. I mean, for his career, shooting 40% from 3 on almost 8 attempts per game, and did this last year on almost 10 attempts per game. So he would fit very well on this Bucks team, be basically their main sharpshooter and space the floor a lot for guys like Giannis and Chris Middleton. 11th, I've got the Magic selecting DeJounte Murray, and the Magic are rebuilding right now. They would be looking to select the best overall player here, and in my opinion, that's definitely DeJounte Murray. Offensively, with his ability to score, shoot the three at times pretty consistently, and be able to run teams' offenses and be a pretty good playmaker is what makes him a pretty good offensive player, but his big value is defensively. The Magic really need that guy right now that can come and guard the other team's best player night in and night out, and that would be DeJounte Murray, especially if that player is a guard. He's that guy that's really going to go out there and make it tough on that other team's best player every night with his amazing defensive abilities. Overall, he's definitely the best overall player here in my opinion, and the Magic would definitely not want to pass up on him. 12th, I've got the Jazz selecting Malik Beasley, and before the season, he probably wouldn't even be in the lottery of this redraft, but now he definitely is. Last season, averaging 20 points per game and being able to space the floor, shoot the three very consistently, shooting 40% from 3 for the Timberwolves on almost 9 attempts per game. And I know he's doing this too while having a bigger opportunity to get shots with the Timberwolves, but he would fit into the Jazz offense too with his ability to create his own shot at times, penetrate to the rim, and shoot the three. Their offense has a lot of three-point shooting, and I think not only is he the best available player to select here with his overall offensive abilities, but he would fit really well with the Jazz, and I think he would definitely have to go here in the redraft. With the 13th pick, the Suns are going to be selecting Jakob Poeltl. He went 9th in the regular draft, and he was looking like he went a little bit too high, but Poeltl's definitely turning into one of the more underrated players in the game today with his amazing defensive ability, and the Suns could definitely use a big man right now, and Poeltl will be that guy to come in, give DeAndre Ayton some minutes on the bench, some rest minutes, and really provide a lot for this team defensively. He's truly one of the best defensive anchors, defensive big man in the league right now, an amazing rim protector, great pick and roll defender, and is top 20 in the league in contested shots per game. And offensively, he plays his role last season only averaging about 9 points per game, but for his career shooting 63% from the field. He really just plays his role, is a pretty good screener as well, averaged 5.5 screen assists last year, which was 4th in the entire NBA, and also a pretty good rebounder, averaging 8 rebounds per game. So offensively and with rebounding, plays his role the exact way he's supposed to, and is very good defensively. Poeltl definitely deserves to make the lottery of this redraft and be that backup center for the Suns here. And finishing off the lottery with the 14th pick, the Bulls are selecting Ivica Zubac. They could pretty much use a backup big man right now, and Zubac is that guy that plays a traditional type of center role. He can score really efficiently, kind of just like Poeltl, down low, be a pretty good screener at times, and also be a pretty effective rebounder. And defensively, sometimes he's a liability, but if you use him right, he can be a really effective rim protector as well. And when he gets switched onto the perimeter, a lot of the times he can get cooked there and exposed, but if you can find a way for your system to keep Zubac in the paint, he can be pretty effective defensively as well. And overall, I definitely think he deserves to squeak into this redraft, and he was selected only 32nd overall in the actual draft, and he should be considered a steal in this draft as well. So there you have it. That's the end of today's video. Comment down below your thoughts on today's video and what you thought of my 2016 redraft. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and all of you guys stay tuned for my upcoming redrafts as well. I'm probably going to end up posting my 2017 and 28 redrafts as well, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you all next video.